So I was discussing the other day the possibility of voting for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with a friend because we both believe in the ethos of Bitcoin, and RFK, unlike Biden and Trump, fully supports Bitcoin. And he was asking me if there was a chance that I could possibly vote for him, especially because before the last couple of election cycles, I was a lifelong Democrat, head bowed in shame. And it's not that I think that the Republican Party is so awesome, because basically I am a libertarian at heart with classical liberal values. And by that, I mean liberty of the individual. So in discussing it with him, this is what I told him. At least Trump's party isn't openly sexualizing children. And attempting to confuse them of their sexuality. At least Republicans don't call me racist for stating that two-parent families yield significantly better results than single-parent families do, or for stating, as someone who has traveled to 60 countries and lived in 7 of them, that America is in fact the land of freedom and opportunity. Stating this to a Republican does not earn me the moniker of demonstrating my white privilege or being a racist bastard. At least Team Red doesn't want to release violent criminals while removing your right to defend yourself and abolishing the police. Is it the Republicans that are trying to make a plumber pay for the college debt of an Oberlin gender studies major? Was it Trump or Biden that repeatedly tried to defy the Supreme Court decisions, for example, the eviction moratorium and reinstating the abolition of student debt, a direct violation of the separation of powers and an end to the checks and balances which makes our system function? Who is printing endless money for their friends and depriving the middle class of their savings? Who tried repeatedly to mandate vaccines that don't work? Who was it that shut down small businesses for a fake pandemic, masked 3-year-olds in a completely ineffective plastic, causing them not to learn how to speak?
No.
And causing great consternation for parents around the world. And the masks didn't even work. It was blue cities that abolished AP classes so that everybody was equally stupid in the name of equity. The definition of equity: we all sink to the lowest common denominator. There can be no outside great achievers. Which party counts fake Indian Elizabeth Warren at the top of their hierarchy, who somehow earns $185,000 a year and is worth $70 million and wants to destroy the freedom money of Bitcoin? Which party is trying to divide America along racial lines? I forget.
Race matters, and we need to say so.
Oh, now I remember. Who is it that shuts down free speech when it disagrees with them and tries to call that speech violent?
Speech can be violent. What you are saying contributes to systemic racism in this country.
The question was, have I asked people in this room if they've felt as though some violence has been committed on them? No, I haven't asked, because no violence has been committed on you. Because violence is not a subjective feeling. Violence is an objective fact.
And I think that you need to look up violence in the dictionary or expand your idea of violence.
Who was it that made up continual lies about the President of the United States and propagandized the masses with their bought and paid for friends in the media? Who tells us that using the word freedom makes you a fascist as they merge corporation and state, the very definition of such, enriching each other with printed money one way and with power on the other side. Who shut down churches during COVID while keeping liquor stores and casinos open, and then spied on the churches in California, looking for violations of a congregation exercising their First Amendment rights? Wasn't it also that evil witch, Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, who told you that you could not buy seeds to plant them and be self-reliant? Which party is it that wants to take away your ability to sustain yourself and give that over to the state? Was it Team Red that created the fake kidnapping plot of Gretchen Whitmer to help them win the election while framing people who love America as evil and a threat?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Which side is it that gave lawyers in New York City that threw Molotov cocktails into police cars only 1 year in prison, while keeping Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman, in jail for years for entering the Capitol while being escorted by the police?
Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down.
And leading a prayer in the chambers of the Senate.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did.
Who wasted our time, taxpayer money, and distracted us for years with the Russia, Russia, Russia narrative, which Hillary Clinton concocted? Was it Team Blue or Team Red that insisted that you stay inside during COVID rather than going out and being in the sun and creating vitamin D, which is instrumental in fighting the disease? Who was it that filled skate parks with sand, put metal bars over outdoor basketball hoops, and arrested someone paddling 100 yards off of the California coast to make an example of him because he was so close to other people he was going to infect them with the disease? Which party did that? So to answer my buddy's original question, of course, I don't like Donald Trump's take on Bitcoin, which I believe is the life raft of freedom from a totalitarian state. So it guessed that it is possible that I could vote for a party so thoroughly corrupt as I've documented here and evil. Could I do so? I suppose, yes, I could, provided it was RFK and RFK alone who was the nominee, and on election day, I flipped the coin and it came up tails 100 straight times and hell froze over.